Welcome back, guys. In the last video, we took the rotary turbo ATV for a drive just to make sure we tied up all the loose ends and that it was ready for the next step, which is going to be paint and some cosmetic body work so we can finally wrap this project up. As y'all may have noticed, this thing looks a little weird. So a new plastic set is around $600 or more, and we're not really wanting to spend that much when, you know, we have a tubing bender and a bunch of metal lying around. So the first thing we're going to do is this gas tank. Since it's just kind of floating out here, a bunch of plastic, we have these bars that came from the MB200 fake gas tank on the top. So we thought that, you know, mounting them up right here, it really fits the curvature of the gas tank really well, and will start making this thing look a lot better. How does that look?
Well, it looks like it was meant to be, honestly.
That matches surprisingly well for just a random piece of bent tube.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now that we've got those tank bars mounted up, we're going to use our RogueFab tubing bender to bend up some mock rear fender flares out of some 1-inch tube steel. Now, these clamp blocks that it comes with make it very easy to keep track of your bends and keep them on the same plane, which is very convenient for us because these pieces are going to get a little complicated. We calculated where each bend is going to go, and we know the exact angles that we need. So all we have to do is put on our 2 clamp blocks right here. And the cool thing about these clamp blocks is now we can be positive that our next bend will be 90 degrees from that bend. We weren't too thrilled about how the front of this thing looked with this kind of cut in right here, so we decided to get a vent which kind of emulates what the old plastics looks like, and we bent up these little rods on our Swag Offroad finger brake. We'll put some nuts down here and this will be supported and look a lot better.
I think with the rest of the additions, this thing will look pretty good, and it'll save us from having to spend like $600 on the stock plastics.
We have everything nice and lined up, and what we did is we just super glued these nuts down, and then we will just weld those on so our bolts can go straight through. It looks kind of weird from underneath, but I think once we have this vent on there, it will look a lot better and more natural. We had to cut down each and every one of these brass bolts, but that's a pretty cool looking hood panel. All of these cosmetic bars and brackets have been mounted. We got our removable fender flares, tank protections, and our front louver plate. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you guys, this isn't a beautiful frame. Even with the plastics, which are about 800 bucks, I mean, these things are still a little bit ugly, you know, a face only a mother could love. But we did what we could. We kind of tried to fill the frame a little bit because the rotary is so wide, but at least the rotary and the turbo look amazing. And it's what's inside that counts, right?
Whew, she slammed.
who needs Loctite when you got corrosion? Am I right? Or am I right?
Whew. Took a long time, a lot of rusty bolts. Honestly felt like a restoration more than just like tearing something down to paint, but there's all the parts, tagged and bagged. Now it's time to scuff everything up and paint it. Got the paint all scuffed up. I look like I got in a fight with the Blue Man Group.
It's time for the first coat of paint. Ford Tractor Blue. Perfect for this thing. It should be pretty close to the color it is now, but it'll be a nice even coat. Oh wow, yeah, that's like identical to the color it is. I think we bought the exact same paint that it was repainted with. But that's alright, it'll look fresh. I drew up some rotary powered decals and cut them up on a Cricut, and I'm going to try and stick them on here. The surface is a little rough. I tried to smooth it out the best I could, but we'll stick this on and see how it goes. Finishing touch, the final piece. Let's wrap this baby up. Here we go. Let's take a look. Take a step back. Look at that. It's still an LT230, but that looks so much better than it used to. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It does look pretty cohesive. Cool. Yeah, it's unique. Definitely unique.
And there she is. Hopefully we tightened all the bolts on this thing, but it's made quite the transformation.
Yeah, this was quite the journey. If y'all followed us, we started with a motor with no compression, We had to fix that. Then we had a bunch of drivetrain issues and had to swap out and try different torque converters. And then after that, we had a nice running wheeling ATV and we decided to turbo it, which I'm super glad we did, but it had a lot of complication to this thing. And but yeah, now it's here, it's sitting pretty. We got all these extra bars on it, the cool paint job. It looks really cohesive. You know, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, and we got the hood panel kind of mimicking the stock plastics, which we didn't buy because they were too expensive.
Yeah, it would have been $600.
And they weren't really that good looking anyways, but
yeah.
We got the side bars. Those are actually from an MV200. We got the custom decal we cut in our buddy's Cricket. Turbo in the motor. And we got the fender bars. The rear rack came back great. It was painted blue like the rest of it from the previous owner, and we actually brought back the chrome, and I think it looks pretty cool. All the fresh paint. I mean, this thing looks killer now.
We got the drivetrain courtesy of GOPOWERSPORTS and the turbo courtesy of GPopShop.com.
Yeah.
A lot went into this thing.
Definitely check them out because they made this whole vision come to life. But yeah,
dare I say, one of the most unique ATVs on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'll do it for this video. Thank you guys for sticking along with the build series. We really had a ton of fun with this one, learned a lot, and big thank you to G Pop Shop and GOPOWERSPORTS for helping us out along the way. Now, we do have some future plans for this thing, but for now, I think we're going to let it rest a little bit, but definitely stay subscribed so you see what's next. We also have some other really cool projects coming on the way. We have another rotary engine project, so stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.